Okay, hi ladies. This is going to be my second vlog. I feel as though I have finally been initiated into the YouTube vlog world because I spent all day yesterday making movies, having them not work out. Either they went over time or the battery died or I couldn't figure out how to edit them, and so I was like, there's just stuff in there I would rather not be in there, or that looked retarded, or just dead space. And then last night when I finally started to download it, it was gonna take like 7 hours. I was like, why would this take 7 hours? Because I have a really nice Canon Rebel T2i, which is really nice, and I'm learning how to use it because I do photography, really amateur photography, but I've been trying to use it to do videos, which is a challenge because it doesn't have autofocus and stuff, and it was such large pixels and I didn't realize that, and so it took like 7 hours to download, and when I woke up this morning it had frozen halfway through the download. So I was like so frustrated, and so I finally feel like I get how frustrating it is when you work really hard on videos and they're not downloading, or something's wrong with them and you have to redo them. Anyway, and so I'm trying to have a better attitude about this, and hopefully I can figure this out and then I can get it to run like clockwork. So anyway, couldn't explain my crush on him because I didn't think he was really mature enough to have a serious relationship. But anyway, we dated on and off. Like, I was really nervous and really scared to be married again to my first husband. Like, I was scared to have those same problems, so I was really hesitant as I was dating Ryan. And anytime a red flag would come up, I'd break up with him and I'd get scared. But eventually I got to know him better, and I saw that he had a lot of potential, and I really did love him and I really cared about him. And so we dated for about 1.5 years before we got married. And before we got married, one of the things that was a big deal to me was children. I wanted kids. I was 27 when I got married, wanted kids. I wanted kids right away, and I wanted many of them right away. And he was more hesitant, and he said he wanted to wait, and I didn't. And so we agreed at 6 months we would try to have kids. And that was our agreement before we got married. So we got married, and after 5 months, and I don't remember how much I said of this before, but after 5 months I had my period, just a random period. But then it didn't stop. It lasted for a long time. It lasted for 10 days. And that's not normal for me. I usually just have a 2-3 day period. I have really short periods. And so it was odd. And then also my nipples hurt really bad. And that's not normal for me either, especially after my period. And they got worse and worse, and my boobs were sore, and I couldn't figure out why my period wouldn't go away. And one day I was complaining to my friend, what's going on with me? And she mentioned to me that her sister had bled regularly on a monthly basis when she was pregnant with her daughter, and that she didn't even find out until she was pregnant until she was like 4 months along, because she thought she was just having her period. And that was the weirdest thing. I'd never heard of that. At the time I was like, that's impossible. You can't bleed when you're pregnant. But I took a test, and of course it was positive, and was really excited because at the time, my husband wasn't ready for kids, and so I was really excited that, yay, I finally got one. Because I was excited, I was ready, and I was so excited. But then when I was about 6 weeks along, I had a lot of pain at my right side, but I wasn't bleeding, and so I didn't think it was a miscarriage. And I actually thought I had like appendicitis or something, and it lasted for about 3 days, but on the 3rd day it got really, really bad. And actually I can remember the time when I actually felt the tube rupture, because it was an ectopic pregnancy. It was a tubal pregnancy. And I remember at the moment when I felt it rupture because the pain changed. So anyway, I had a lot of internal bleeding, and I ended up in the emergency room. And of course I lost the baby, and I lost my right fallopian tube, which was really devastating, of course. And I knew that my fertility had been compromised, missing my right fallopian tube. And I was really brokenhearted, and I told my husband, and at that point, that was at 5 months, so the next month was 6 months. That was when we had agreed to start trying to have kids. And so I told him, I was like, I want to start trying to have kids. And he said no, that he wasn't ready. And that really broke my heart. And that was kind of the beginning of our marital problems. I was really brokenhearted because I wanted a kid. He wasn't ready to have a kid. And so our marriage struggled at that point. For the next year, we struggled and struggled. And I struggled to be happy with him. I struggled to be happy even though he didn't want kids with me yet. And, you know, he would say he wanted kids with me, just not now. And so I was trying really hard to be positive. And so about a year after we were married, I got pregnant. It was like a one-time thing where we didn't use condoms, which I don't even remember. It was a total fluke because since my husband didn't want to get pregnant, he was very adamant and militant about using condoms. So it's really funny that the one time that we didn't use a condom, I got pregnant. It's a total miracle. And I'm missing a fallopian tube. So it's a total miracle, chances. And so, let's see what time we're at. Sorry, I'm timing this because I'm not going to go over and I have to do this all over again. And so, anyway, I was pregnant. The pregnancy stuck. I was super excited. It was such a miracle for me. And he wasn't excited. He tried to not let me know how unexcited he was because he didn't want to be a jerk. And he didn't want to be unsupportive, but he wasn't supportive. And it was a very kind of a lonely pregnancy. And I knew he wasn't excited. But anyway, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do a new one.